I have up next one very fascinating, motivating, writing Marvel man. And his name is John Nichols. He's national correspondent for The Nation magazine. John, it is so good to see you, so good to be with you. And wait, don't say anything yet, because I want folks, everybody don't know the one and only John Nichols, a pioneer political blogger, writes about politics, as I just said, as a national correspondent for The Nation magazine. His pieces have circulated internationally. He's internationally known. He's written numerous books, and he has been mentioned on many debates in the halls of Congress. Everywhere I want to be, John Nichols is. And if you want to be smarter, you need to read John Nichols. Hey, John, how you doing, darling?
Well, that was probably the most generous introduction I've ever had, so I should probably just stop right here. But I'm doing well because I'm with you, Nina. What an honor to join you on Unbossed.
Well, it is a pleasure to have you. And that was only a portion of your bio. I stopped because I know you don't want me to read all of that, so I won't do it. John and I have been on the road many a day. I've seen many things across this great nation. So, John, it's good to have you here with us. So at the top of our show today, we talked about today, unfortunately, the mass shootings, and we've had 39 mass shootings this year so far. The year is just getting started. We're at the sunrise of 2023. So from California to Oakland to Iowa, these things are happening. This is only January. What do you think is happening in our country, and what can we do?
Look, what's happening in our country is what's been happening. We have had mass violence for a very, very long time. In some senses, we're better at charting it now. We pay closer attention, and I think that's good. We should be aware of it. But at the same time, there's so much that we can become immune, and we have to be careful about that. We have to recognize that in every one of these cases, this is a precious loss of life. And people are losing loved ones. People are in fear, kids in schools, terrified by all the drills and everything. And so we end up in a situation where as a country, we're really challenged morally. When do we say no? When do we say this has to stop? And it isn't just about gun control. Gun control is one element of it. But as Michael Moore showed us with his film Columbine,
Bowling for Columbine, yeah.
Yeah. And in Bowling for Columbine, many, many years ago, what he showed us was that Canada has a lot of gun ownership, but they don't have the same level of mass violence. They don't have the same level of mass shootings. So this requires a deeper examination of ourselves and of our country. And I think one of the things that Michael Moore came away with was an understanding that Canada has a national healthcare system. Canada has programs that care for people with mental health needs as well as physical health needs. Canada has a lot of systems to make sure that there's a social safety net underneath folks. And I do think that's a part of it. I think that having a society where there are more options and where there is a bit more security, that can help. And so I don't want to be glib about this. I don't want to suggest there's one simple answer. I think there are complex answers, but I do think as a country we should be rushing to try and get to those answers and to try and make the changes that we need to as a society, because we can't have a year where every day brings us another mass shooting.
That's exactly right. And the mass shootings coupled with all the other things that are happening in the country just, naturally would happen. It definitely takes its toll on us. Very complex. I totally agree with you on that, John.